Good afternoon, team. I'm Master Sergeant Leslie Hernandez, and I'm truly honored and privileged to be able to do your briefing today on normalization of defects. But before we get started, I wanted to share with you my story and background, why I lead the way that I do. It's so important as a leader to know the story of everyone, to know your people, to know your subordinates, to know who you supervise, to know your coworkers, right? If we don't know them, how can we grow them? How can we teach them? How can we lead them if we don't know who they are and what inspires them and what brings them up and what may be their downfall, what they need to work on? How can we help them get there and grow? So my story, coming from the Wounded Warrior department back at Lackland Air Force Base, such an inspiration, such a motivation place, motivated. It taught me so much to how to grow as a leader, how to lead, and it changed me so much. And just that short period of time as a newly NCO, getting ready to put on Tech Sergeant, and that's where I even made Master Sergeant. But it taught me so much to, the importance of your voice and speaking up and speaking out when things are not right, regardless if you're in charge, because at the time I was not the NCOIC. However, you have a voice to utilize, and it's important to use that, no matter what rank you are, no matter what position that you hold, it's important that you utilize your voice to speak up when something is not right. And one of the first experience I had noticed arriving there, because being observant, because observant is important, is seeing that these wounded warriors that are ill, injured, and wounded, right? Cancer treatment, PTSD, different things like that, being expected to perform the same way and be accounted for and go to PT sessions just to check in for a roll call when they've undergone chemo treatments, or they just came off a heavy night, or having a bad night, or having really bad headaches and really bad nightmares and things like that, and they were still expected to be at this formation or every other day, or working. They wanted them to have a job, from this, like we would work, an 8-hour day, sometimes 4 hours, but not realizing the behind, how it was affecting them, how they were drained, they were tired, they may have been up all the night before and were expected to be at work. So trying to figure out a solution for that and being able to come up with that and share that with the NCO and utilizing the chain of command, because you always want to be professional, you always want to utilize the chain of command and never catch anyone off guard, right? And do those things. So being able to come up with a solution so we can go to them and we can make it feasible and meet in places where it's easy access for them, where it was a Fisher House or somewhere on Joint Base San Antonio and Fort Sam. So it was such an honor and privilege to be able to come up with this solution, not just add to the problem and talk about it, but to have a solution behind the problem that we saw and foresaw. So that was the first thing, and just seeing how it changed dramatically. And to this day, they're still utilizing that protocol. They're still utilizing that going to them concept. And of course, when they could go to PT and things like that, then they were able to go. But overall, having a solution and knowing that still stands in place, and they can build upon that foundation on that. And I think one of the main things I saw and that really triggered it off too was the building that we were in was supposed to be no longer there, because they had so many difficult places. Our first building closed up and they moved us to another place on the training side, and that building was mold infested. It was not a safe place for myself or any of my coworkers, little less these individuals with low immune systems. Their immune systems were not well, and having them go into that building and walk in there and breathe in all that, and knowing it was mold infested, and all they did was cover it up. So seeing that every day and no one speaking up and saying anything, and constantly voicing that and utilizing again the chain of command, because that is key, and speaking out and networking to other people, but of course always letting the person know that you're going to do that and go further to help these individuals, because people are so important. As a leader, your people are always, yes, the mission is first, but your people are always, take care of your people so they can take care of the mission, is what I've always been taught. And so speaking up and saying something about that, and seeing how we were moved out of there immediately after that, and it was it brings so much joy to see that you bring safety and security to your organization and to those members. So those were two things that really helped and opened my eyes to see the importance of the voice and speaking out and speaking up, and not just standing back and letting it sit and do those things. So, but even coming here to the Albany and MEPS, it has taught me so much, and I'm so thankful for the growth as a leader as well. My normalization defect was the fact of wanting perfection and wanting things to be perfect, and something that you're hard on yourself. And I know some people struggle with that probably as well. And it's nothing wrong with that. It's good to be hard on yourself and want things to be a specific way, in a certain way. But understanding that they're people, and you have to meet your team where they're at and help them grow together. Because sometimes if we come off too hard or too strong, we can definitely break them instead of build them up. And we want to be builders and not breakers. That's what I said. We're builders. We're team builders, and building that strong foundation so that you can build up upon that. And I am so thankful for mentors and leaders who are willing to say and voice that and share that feedback with me to help me grow as a leader. I've grown so much, and it's something that, I still go back and forth to, but at the end of the day, growing and being able to change that mindset and being able to change an organization and being able to help them grow as a team versus you want this done, you want a specific way. And of course, along the way, rewarding them, taking care of them, valuing them, sharing their strengths and weaknesses, because we all have weaknesses and all have a chance to grow, but sharing the strength as well, because every single person has strengths. Every single person has value and brings to the mission. So thankful and showing them that you truly care for them. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And we got to be that. And that's what I've learned here. And it has helped me grow as a leader. And every day I'm growing, and I'm thankful for that opportunity. And I wanted to share it right with you. I hope that you enjoyed the briefing on normalization defects. Have a wonderful afternoon.